Planet Dolan.
From breakdancing in a school play to using the wrong bathroom, the Planet Dolan crew reenacts some of the best true stories from our subreddit about our most awkward moments ever. My name is Nixium, and today I'll be your narrator. Number 10 was submitted by When Dank Memes Fly. Snoopy was in the A Charlie Brown Christmas play in elementary school as Patty. In one part of the play, all the characters danced to the theme song. In the movie, though, Patty for some reason wasn't even in the dancing scene, but had a line soon after. So Snoopy didn't know what to do while everyone else was dancing. As the scene started, she freaked out and did the worst thing she could probably do. She started to break dance and awkwardly flopped her limbs around. All the other kids just stared at her in disbelief and in confusion. The directors were mortified, and Snoopy was banned from any other school performances. Number 9 was submitted by Gino Wolf. When Ziragamba was about 8, his grandmother took him to the local Trees for Mystery. He really wanted his grandpa to come as well, but his poor little mind just couldn't wrap itself around the idea that he wasn't coming. After the tour, they went to the gift shop. Ziragamba then saw somebody who looked vaguely similar to his grandpa out of the corner of his eye. The next moment, he was hugging a complete stranger and yelling, "Grandpa, you came!" He looked up, saw it wasn't his grandpa, and he walked back to his grandma with his face red as a beet. Number 8 was submitted by Miss Sarah 101. Back in school, Doopy needed to excuse herself from class as she was having girl issues. However, this teacher wouldn't let kids be excused without a reason. Her desk was in front of the class, just in front of the blackboard. There were a few boys in the class, so Doopy hoped the teacher would get it without her explaining it. Doopy went up to the teacher and said she had a girl issue to deal with. However, the teacher wouldn't let her go without an explanation. Suddenly, somebody behind them said, "Ugh, what is that smell?" Doopy then yelled out,
"I gotta change my pad!"
The boys began to laugh, and she was allowed to go to the bathroom, but she felt horribly embarrassed thanks to the teacher. Number 7 was submitted by Ghostly Descender. When Sid was 12, he went on a road trip with his family to see his grandma. On the way there, they stopped at a mall for a bathroom break. Sid walked into what he thought was the men's bathroom, and he did his business. When he came out to wash his hands, he looked up and saw over 10 girls staring at him like he was a creep. Sid turned bright red and walked out as fast as he could. When he got out, he looked at the sign on the door, which had the girl symbol. Number 6 was submitted by Lord of Kittens. At the first grade talent show, Pringle and his class performed a song about animals, and he had to say, "I like ducks." Unfortunately, he had just lost 2 baby teeth a couple of days before, and he had kind of a bit of a lisp. When he said the line in front of the entire school, it sounded just like, "I like fucks." Luckily, none of the parents were there, so that's good. Number 5 was submitted by Regnillum. When Sweet Commando was 13, he went somewhere to eat with his grandfather after helping him fix his car. In the restaurant, some pretty girls were giggling and waving at him, and, well, being a teenage boy, he smiled and waved back. When they got back to the house, Sweet Commando's dad told him that there were holes in his pants. He looked down and there were 2 holes on either side of his crotch, the size of fists. He then realized why those girls were giggling and waving at him. He was just glad that he at least had underpants on. Number 4 was submitted by Dat Silent Girl. One time, Gooby was waiting for a friend to pick her up. When she went outside after he arrived, she saw that there were 2 cars that looked exactly the same, and got into the first one without checking first. Gooby went on talking for a while before she realized she was in the wrong car. 3 guys she had never seen before were staring at her. Gooby walked out of the car and her friend just laughed as she got into his car. Number 3 was submitted by Jane Castellan. Back when Shima was 13, her mother bought her the worst trainers in the world. At the time, the most cringe-worthy sports bra around was Dunlop. The ones that she got were the brightest yellow and 2 sizes too large. Shima tried to do sport barefoot instead, but her teacher ordered her to put them on and go join the rest of the class in the sports hall. The sports hall was big, and the class was gathered in the far corner. Shima started to jog into the hall when her new sneakers squeaked on the court. The next second, all she heard was a deafening jeer of "Dunlop!" Shima ran back to the office, and from that lesson onwards, she spent sports class at a desk in the corner of the sports hall, writing lines for the rest of the school year. Number 2 was submitted by QAOA. Pandora was at a family reunion when her grandma had set up a talent show for the grandkids. Pandora was somehow convinced by her mom to play the violin. She started playing in 3rd grade and got quite good at it, but hadn't played in a long while. Pandora knew she wasn't prepared to perform in front of her entire extended family. Eventually, her time came, and with everybody looking at her, Pandora played the first note. As the note played, the peg slipped, and the violin went from what was supposed to be a D into a loud screech, which made everybody cover their ears. Pandora just walked off the stage, handed the violin to her mom, and left the room. And number 1 was submitted by me. One time, back when I was a teenager, I walked over to my friend's house to ask him if he wanted to go skateboarding with me. Now, I didn't knock on the door or ring the doorbell. I just walked in, because I've done this tons of times. I mean, he's like my best friend. So I step into his living room, and well, on the couch is his mom and his dad. And, yeah, they were, doing some stuff. And I was like, oh. So I opened the door, and I walked out with them staring at me. His mom was kinda hot. Alright, so anyway, a huge thanks to the folks over at our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting their stories. But we have another question for you. What is the best lie you convinced a kid was true? Let us know in the Reddit page linked below, and you might be featured in a future countdown.
Planet Dolan is now a video game. Play it as Dolan, Melissa, and the rest of the PD crew collecting shinies to unlock skins and power-ups. Download from the Android or iOS App Store and start racing today for free.
Until next time. See ya!